Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Everyday English Hero. I'm Lucy, your host for today's episode, and I'm really glad you're joining me. Today, we're diving into a super important topic for your English learning journey: how to train your brain to think in English. You might be wondering, but Lucy, how am I supposed to think in English? That sounds really hard. I get it. It can seem challenging. But trust me, not only is it possible, it's also one of the best things you can do to level up your English skills. When you teach your brain to think in English, you'll be able to speak more naturally and smoothly, understand others faster, feel more confident using English every day. Think of it like switching the language setting in your brain. Instead of translating everything from your native language, you start using English as your default way of thinking. In this episode, we'll cover why thinking in English makes such a big difference, the link between language and how we think, simple practical tips you can start using today, common challenges and how to overcome them, and how to build this into your daily routine so it becomes a habit. Ready to begin? Let's get started. Why thinking in English is so important. Many English learners ask me, Lucy, is it really necessary to think in English? Isn't it enough to just learn vocabulary and grammar? The answer is simple. Thinking in English is the key to fluency. Let me explain why. 1. Thinking in English makes you fluent. Fluent speakers don't stop to translate in their heads. They don't think, my language, English, then I speak. They just think directly in English and speak naturally. When you start thinking in English, speaking becomes faster and easier. 2. You respond faster in conversations. Have you ever had a conversation where you know what you want to say, but it takes too long to find the English words? By the time you say it, the topic has already changed? That happens because you're still translating in your head. If you think in English, your answers come more quickly. You won't freeze or hesitate so much. 3. You feel more confident. Imagine expressing yourself in English as easily as you do in your first language. How amazing would that feel? When you think in English, you stop worrying about mistakes or searching for words. You focus on sharing your ideas, and that confidence makes your English stronger. 4. Listening gets easier. When your brain is used to processing English thoughts, listening becomes more natural. You're not just hearing words, you're understanding ideas. You'll follow conversations more easily and even catch small details. In short, thinking in English equals more fluency, faster conversations, stronger confidence, and better listening. The connection between language and thought. Now, let's talk about something interesting: the link between language and thought. What does it really mean to think in English? It's not only about using English words inside your head, it's about how language shapes the way we see the world. When you think in your first language, you use the words and phrases that feel natural to you. But when you switch to English, your perspective changes. For example, imagine a sunset. In your language, maybe you have a special word to describe the colors or the emotion you feel. In English, maybe you have to describe it in another way. You might say, the sky is pink and orange. The sunset looks beautiful. It makes me feel calm. It's not exactly the same as your native expression, but that's the point. English gives you a new way of thinking. Another example: If you're in a conversation and you're already thinking in English, your brain doesn't stop to translate. You just understand and answer naturally. I like to imagine it as a puzzle. Every language is like a different puzzle. When you think in English, you learn to see how the English puzzle fits together. Its patterns, its pieces, its logic. Research even shows that people who think in the language they're speaking are more fluent and better at problem solving. So the more you think in English, the easier it becomes to express yourself clearly and quickly. Practical steps to start thinking in English. Here's the good news. You don't need to change your brain overnight. You just need small, simple steps. Let's go through them one by one. Step 1. Describe things around you. Look around your room, see a chair, say in your mind, "This is a chair." The chair is brown. It is near the table. Look at your clothes. I am wearing a blue shirt. The fabric is soft. Look at your food. This is rice. It tastes hot and spicy. By describing your world in English, you start creating English thoughts naturally. Step 2. Think in English during daily activities. Cooking dinner. Tell yourself, "I'm chopping vegetables. Now I'm boiling water." Walking to work? Think, "The street is busy. The bus is coming." These small thoughts build the habit of English thinking. Step 3. Talk to yourself. Yes, I know this sounds funny, but it works. If you're alone, say out loud what you're doing. I'm brushing my teeth. I'm getting my bag. I'm leaving the house. It trains your brain and your mouth at the same time. Step 4. Immerse yourself in English media. Surround yourself with English. Watch shows, listen to podcasts, enjoy music, all in English. Don't worry if you don't understand 100%. The more you listen, the more your brain gets used to the rhythm of English. Tip: start with topics you enjoy. If you like cooking, watch cooking videos in English. If you like football, watch sports commentary. Fun makes it easier. Step 5. Practice with English speakers. Talking with others is the best training. Find a language partner, join an online community, or use language exchange apps. Even a few minutes of real conversation forces your brain to think in English quickly. Step 6. Keep a journal. At the end of the day, write 2 to 3 sentences in English. Today I went to work. I felt tired but happy. I cooked pasta for dinner. It doesn't have to be perfect. The goal is practice. Writing makes your thoughts flow in English. Challenges you might face. Okay, let's be real. Thinking in English is not always easy. You will face some problems. But don't worry, I'll tell you how to beat them. Challenge 1. Fear of mistakes. You might think, what if I say something wrong? People will laugh. Solution: remember, mistakes are normal. They are not failures. They are lessons. Every mistake teaches you something new. Challenge 2. Feeling overwhelmed. English has so many words and rules, it can feel like too much. Solution: start small. Learn just a few words or phrases each day. Practice for 5 minutes. Step by step is enough. Challenge 3. Switching back to your native language. It's easy to fall into the comfort zone of your first language. Solution: push yourself to think simple thoughts in English. Even if it's just, "I'm hungry" or "the sky is blue." Keep practicing. Challenge 4. Not enough opportunities to practice. Maybe you don't live in an English-speaking country. Solution: use technology, join online groups, use apps, or talk to yourself. Watching and listening to English media also counts as practice. Challenge 5. Frustration with progress. Sometimes you feel stuck. You think, I'm not improving. Solution: be patient. Progress is slow but real. Celebrate small wins like understanding a TV scene without subtitles or writing in your journal for a week. How to keep practicing. Consistency is the secret. You don't need hours every day, just a few minutes, but regularly. Here are some tips. Set small goals. Example: I'll think in English for 5 minutes today. Or, I'll learn 3 new words this week. Create a daily routine. Maybe every morning while drinking coffee, think in English about your day's plan. Use apps and tools, Duolingo, Memories, Babbel, podcasts. Anything that keeps English in your brain. Join a community. Practicing with others is motivating and fun. Track your progress. Write down your wins. Did you watch a movie without subtitles? Great. Celebrate it. Remember, progress is not about perfection. It's about building habits. Let's review. Thinking in English is powerful because it makes you fluent, fast, confident, and better at listening. Language shapes thought. When you think in English, you see the world in a new way. Practical steps. Describe your world, think during activities, talk to yourself, immerse in media, practice with others, and keep a journal. Challenges like fear, frustration, and lack of practice are normal, but you can beat them with patience and small steps. Keep the habit by setting goals, making a routine, using apps, joining communities, and celebrating progress. Thinking in English won't happen overnight, but with small daily practice, it will become natural. Don't be afraid of mistakes. Celebrate every little victory. And remember, every minute you spend thinking in English brings you closer to fluency. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode of Everyday English Hero. I hope you feel inspired to start thinking in English today. Stay consistent, enjoy the process, and keep practicing. You're doing great, and you're not alone on this journey. I'll see you in the next episode. Until then, take care and happy learning.